I think it is super important to have lived or living experience in these roles because, you know, it's proof that we don't just talk the talk, we walk the walk. And it also sends a message to the rest of the community out there that, you know, you do have something to offer. I never, ever, ever would have thought, you know, all my years running amok on drugs would have given me any sort of credibility for a job. But hey, look at me now.
I think lived experience is certainly it's absolutely critical to the work I do on the helpline. Yes, we can be there with all the right information and answer somebody's questions, but when you drop in something like, oh yeah, I felt like that when I was on treatment, or I remember feeling like that when I was diagnosed, you can immediately hear them, feel them, relax and be open. And if they're open, they're going to give you the right, honest information about themselves, and you can give them the right, honest answer back.
I think it's important because people seem to trust you a little bit more as you've been going through or have gone through the same things that they are.
I can give them the understanding, the compassion, the empathy that they need, because I can relate what they are going through at this point in time.
When we connect with somebody through lived experience, I guess the person in front of us ceases to see us as a paid worker and just somebody who has an idea of how they are thinking and feeling, someone who's been where they have been and has managed to get through that. It inspires people with hope.
Lived experience is important in the work I do because I can show empathy, understanding, and I can relate to the prisoners I'm working with. And they also tell me they find it so much easier knowing that I'm one of their peers and I'm just the same as them.
On a daily basis we work with peers that have had lived experience, and they're completely integral to our service and getting service users tested and treated. Our peers are actually working with our community at a level that is appropriate to them, instead of people coming in and actually not understanding their needs.
I love being a peer worker because I get to see people at their very, very worst, and then I get to see them at their very best as they embrace harm minimisation, interventions and hepatitis C testing and then treatment.
I love being a Hep C worker so I can help other people who have been through the same things as I have or that are going through.
The level of involvement with your community and being able to really utilise not only your own skills but your personal experience and your professional experience in a wide range of ways. Often for people who use drugs, we are stigmatised and often cannot talk about our drug use in a professional context. So being a peer worker and actually being able to have the platform to openly speak about one's own drug use is really important, and I think ideally is slowly breaking down that stigma.
Being a peer mentor is great because not only do I get to support service users on which I was in a very similar situation to, I get to support the services in which helped me when I needed them.
You know, a huge part of that is when we have guys that engage with us and often go on to find that they want to start engaging in other areas of their life and health and effectively reclaim their lives, and I get to be a part of that, and that's quite incredible.
I really love being a peer worker because I just get to do what I do and it all comes naturally, and there's an incredible amount of passion in what I do because it's me and I believe it. It's how I roll.
I do truly feel valued as a peer worker. I know I've got the support of all my colleagues at any time. We've all been there, got the t-shirt together, and we've got a real passion to help others, and that drives us forward and keeps us going.
I do feel valued by my organisation, but I work for a genuine peer-based drug user organisation, and there's not many of those around.
I do feel valued as a peer worker for the Hep C Trust because our ideas are listened to, we're taken seriously, and we are at the centre of everything we do.
I started out as a volunteer with the Trust, and from the off they put their time, training and support into me, and continued that when I moved on to paid employment with the Trust. The training was phenomenal. The level of support and ongoing development I've received since starting has been second to none.
One thing that I wish I could change about being peer workers is about getting us universally accepted and valued within every single organisation, allowing us to have access and update client records so that we can input and be a true member of a patient journey.
For me, one of the biggest challenges of being a drug user peer educator is the fact that drug use is still criminalised, and when you're working within a criminalised marketplace, you need to be a little bit careful. So if I could change anything, I would change the stupid drug laws we have here in Australia.
So in the Southwest, we're challenged by having such a small team and very limited resources working across such a massive area. I think if I could change anything, I would definitely like to improve the size of that team so we could be in more areas at once and present more of a concentrated effort during such an important time leading up to elimination.
I wish I could change or improve the services by getting more funding, so we can educate more people that aren't aware of hepatitis C, and just get the stigma away from it all.
One thing I would change about being a peer would be the prison vetting system. The prison vetting system can sometimes be a long, drawn-out process, and especially for someone with a lived experience background. If somehow this system could be made quicker, then the quicker we can find, treat and cure people of hepatitis C.
More funding specifically around peer-based programs and projects. For the program that I myself manage, it's amazing and it's volunteer based. We really rely on volunteers. However, as our program has grown, the scope of what our volunteers are doing is really more than what I think almost any other type of volunteers would be doing, but we just don't get enough funding to be paying those volunteers. And so what I would really like in the future would be for their contributions to be acknowledged by receiving additional funding, and also that means we can spread and we can do more projects and more support, because often we have to turn down a lot of the booking requests we receive because we honestly just don't have the resources, even though we're really excited and would love to be a part of some of these initiatives and events.
So there are so many things that I really want to be improved when it comes to peer educators, because one thing is the stipend that they are being paid. The stipend is very low, the logistics are very challenging. One thing also, the peer does a lot of work that they don't have enough security, the social security is not present. So that is one thing I would really people to review, the policies, the stipend, because you can't pay a peer almost just less than $60 and expect the peer educator to perform. So these are things that really need to be looked upon.
My best day as a peer support lead happens every time that I get the opportunity to give a clear result, to tell somebody that they no longer have hepatitis C at their end of treatment.
I'd been asking this guy for 3 years to have treatment, and so the day he got his cure was one of the best days of my working life.
The best day I've had as a peer worker is every single day I go to work.
help me and give me inspiration to move forward in my life and help me to feel like I had more power because she had been through what I have been through, and it helped me a great deal to progress in my life.
Let's respect our peer educators. Let's involve our peer educator. Let's have their says matters.